Hello, welcome back to another video. I know I'm lower down than usual.
Yeah. Hey everybody, how is everybody doing today? Thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody's having a great day. Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. Well, I guess that whole, what was it, the 24th? She was supposed to be eating healthy, all home-cooked meals, has literally flown out the window. And we're starting off with a undercooked pizza. That's what that looks like. The crust looks a little bit raw to me, but okay, let's get into it.
Oh well, that's okay. We'll make do for today. So, Mountain Dewy, 0.
That's really annoying. I remember reading comments and stuff. Somebody actually said the same thing, that it's very annoying and that she changes names to things to sound cute, to sound quirky. It's just really annoying. Mountain Dewy, shut up.
I have here a medium Pizza Hut, Domino's, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite pizza place, but once in a while.
Did she rearrange the living room? Because the YouTube plaque is not on the couch anymore. It's over there. I mean, it literally looks like she set up an altar for the YouTube plaque. Like, that's what are you praying to the YouTube plaque now?
I crave it, especially their Super Supreme. I got a half and half pepperoni, half Super Supreme, stuffed crust. I have some ranch. I'm going to try drizzling it on.
Disgusting.
Let's try this piece with ranch.
Some jizz on the pizza for the feeders. Yum.
All right. Bismillah beauty bites.
Like, the crap she puts on pizza, it's like, can we make this pizza more big back, more fatter, more obese?
For you? Oh my goodness.
For you? Shut up. That's from the other channel.
Oh, hot.
The Cooking Bomb channel. I don't know what her channel... I can't think of the name off the top of my head. She's the Chinese woman that has the Cooking Bomb spice, and she does a lot of Chinese cooking. That's where she's getting that. This one's for you. Stop being a copycatter. For the feeders. Yum.
So,
Yeah.
today...
Here we go. What are we talking about today?
I thought I would revisit an old Storytime because I used to do pizza mukbangs a lot. I was well known for those and my crazy story times.
No. You were well known for doing the cheese graveyard about this, I don't want to call them a religious cult, but it happened here in Southern California. Yeah, that's what you're known for, being disgusting. Eating a ginormous amount of cheese.
Now, one thing you asked me, I'm thankful for in Kuwait. Neighbors that don't cause a nuisance. I've had neighbors bring us food. I've had neighbors, they're just usually very nice and keep to themselves.
Not in that building. Excuse me, ma'am. Not in that building. Maybe in the the other hood apartment that you lived in. But since you're in a workers building, I'm pretty much sure that the people in that apartment building don't like to cause waves, because then they'll get in trouble with the government, because I mean, they're already treated like crap as it is, as far as people coming into Kuwait to work. So yeah, that's probably why they don't do that.
Oh.
But you, on the other hand, don't give two fucks.
A lot of you OG foodie beauties will remember this neighbor.
She has no more stories, so she's revisiting old crap. Well done.
Excuse me, that was a crisp.
Do you think she bought, like, the alleged baby next door? I don't know if it's the baby next door or if it's actually Salah's baby. But do you think that she purchased a gift for the new baby? I don't know. Every time I've lived somewhere and a neighbor had a new baby, I would always buy them a gift. You think Foodie Beauty's that type?
Soda. So the Super Supreme has onion, green pepper,
You don't know what you
pepperoni.
ordered. You have to look at it.
Excuse me, an Italian sausage,
Man.
and mushroom. So, one of my first apartments, I was living with Pete at the time.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to see if this is sped up. I can't. I have to speed it up. This is annoying. Sorry.
As roommates. And there was this woman.
As roommates? I don't think
Who
so.
lived in-
You know what?
who lived in
Were
the-
they actually roommates during that period of time, or were they actually banging? I don't know. Banging and cheating.
And she lived like on the main floor, but she had like a balcony. And anytime I
Okay, this apartment building, that's not in the basement. That would be like a ground level, I guess, apartment. I don't know. Maybe she has a different definition of a basement apartment building. Like in New York and stuff, where you literally step down into the basement. Somebody in Canada, let me know. Is this a government subsidized housing unit? Because I have no idea.
be outside, she would always be harassing me to come over for a drink. Because back then I did drink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know, ketchup on my pizza, don't hate me.
Weren't you You were just drinking, what was it, about 3 years ago too? So that's still, recent. It's not like years ago you were drinking. Recently you've been drinking.
This was like early 20s for me. I just was like friendly. I'm like, okay, Never thought I would ever go over, but
Why not? They're trying to be friendly. Obviously you're antisocial.
she was very eccentric, putting it nicely.
And
She was very loud.
Excuse me. And you're not eccentric? And you're not loud? Is this a story about you, actually? And you're just trying to paint it as someone else?
And would just like bother anybody walking by. She would go out on her balcony.
How's that bothering people?
I'll try to draw a picture of her, show you what she looked like. She would wear these like silky robes with like
That looked like you during your wig time period. Are you sure this isn't about you, like I said?
very revealing robes. And there were like families, in that building. Like one time she got really...
What about you? Excuse me. What about you? When you lived in the villa and all your, how can I say this politely, Figueroa hoe wear, especially the one that you wore to the hospital with your grandmother, that short, tight, zebra, ill-fitting dress. You look like a stuffed sausage. Not only that, there was another dress. Wasn't it the yellow cutout dress where you actually did look like a stuffed sausage? Like a bratwurst, real light and pale like that. So you're one to talk, Chantal, about scaring the children into the apartment complex.
She used to drink a lot. I don't know if she was an alcoholic or she just had a problem drinking. I don't know. She would get really loaded. And one time she went around to the back of the building, and like the way the building's windows are for the basement apartments, they're...
I don't know. Saying somebody is loaded has a different reference to me. That means like somebody's like, on drugs. Usually if somebody's drinking, they're drunk or wasted, like in that type of way. I don't know. And just because she drank a lot doesn't necessarily mean that she was an alcoholic. Yeah, I don't know.
With the ground. So technically anyone, if you don't have curtains, could come in and like look in your window. Well, she did that. She was really hammed one day and she had her silk robe and some heels on. And she was heavier, so the heels would like peg her into the grass. And she came in, was like waving at us, and like our window was like, our curtain was like a bit sheer. I don't know. Anyway, she apparently like, I don't remember, details are foggy, but I don't remember if she told me this or like if I saw this. I don't remember. I can't remember, but I remember her squatting in front of the window of a family. I think it was a Muslim family too. And so, they were just like,
Why even mention that? Does it even matter if they were a Muslim family, if they were a Christian family, if they were a Buddhist family? Why does that matter?
horrified by her squatting in front of their window, and she just throws up.
Man, I've done that before in my young days. At a party.
From being intoxicated.
At a party, like towards the, like, threw up on the porch. Like I leaned over the railing, and there happened to be I threw up all over the rug that was hanging on the railing. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, many of us partied in our 20s.
She was like a nightmare. She used to come to my door.
At least the woman didn't do that on camera like you did, and then come back on camera with like chunks of vomit all over yourself. That's something you did, Chantal. I'd be more embarrassed of that than actually throwing up in front of somebody, like a family.
And try to shove like random kittens in her house.
Sure.
Other things I won't mention.
What does that mean? Let me guess. Was she shoving in a bath wash, bars of soap, some deodorant, trying to give you a hint?
And like, Pete's couldn't stand her.
The dogs are
Anyway.
barking. Here we go. Lady's gonna bark because the other ones are getting started. I have to pause. Lady. No, lady. I wish I could speak dog. I wonder what they're saying to each other sometimes when they're barking. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. If anybody out there with dogs, let me know if this is true. Although we can't understand like the dog barks and, what they're speaking in their language, sometimes I feel like the dogs communicate with their eyes. Like they'll look at me and they'll blink, and it's almost like a coded blink. Like one eye will blink, then both eyes will blink. It's weird. I don't know. I feel like they speak through their eyes. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. Back to you, Chantal.
She would just bug me all the time. Like, she would knock at her door all the time. And it's a good thing I didn't have a car back then, because she probably would have, pestered me for rides all the time, because she was, on a do not serve list for, the taxi companies.
How do you know? Excuse me. How do you know that? Did you work for dispatch at taxi companies? Come on. Get out of here.
Because she would always, call a taxi and make them drive her to the bridge. And, threaten to,
That's kind of
throw herself
sad.
off of it. She never did, obviously, but...
I mean, clearly, if all of this is true, this woman was seeking a friendship, clearly needed friends, was clearly depressed, if all of this is true. I kind of feel bad for her in a way. Maybe she was drinking to, suppress emotions or feelings and kind of escape from her problems. I know I went through a period of time where I was like that, where I was probably drinking too much, not to the alcoholic level, but drinking to just numb the pain of things. So, I mean, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. Anyway, so she probably would have bugged me for rides and told me to drive her there, which I wouldn't do, but this was a regular thing for her.
That's sad. Of course, Chantal doesn't give a crap.
Hi. Hi. You want to be in my mukbang? Do you want a black olive? Anyway, one day I ended up giving in.
Giving in? Oh no. I think you do that a lot. She's a pig.
I'm going over there to hang out. By the way, this woman, just so you know, she was on social assistance.
How do
Her
you,
apartment was like
what?
low income. We paid full
First of all, how do you know that she was on social assistance? Get out of here.
for us because we were working, but she was
They
on
were
low income.
working, but excuse me, so they live in this apartment building, which might be government subsidized. Like I said, I'm waiting for somebody to say something about it. I'm sure FFG will say something because she lives in Canada, so she probably knows what is what there. How is everybody else on government assistance, but then you and Pete's are not? I don't know. I kind of think that you guys both scam the government in particular ways and get government assistance. You guys rub me as that type. Try to claim a mental disability, depression, whatever. I don't know if it works like that in Canada, but here in California, there are people that do that crap.
I remember going into her apartment. Like, she made do with this one bedroom, low income housing apartment. Like, she was on low income, but she had.
So clearly, she just admitted that that apartment is low income housing. LOL. I mean, there's no shame in it. If you need help at any point in your life and the government, has assistance like that, as long as you use it, to get on your feet and then you're able to take care of yourself, there's no shame in that. So I don't understand why she's lying about this if that was the case.
A full bar in her dining room. She had a little dining set, and then this like crystal, like really nice bar full of booze.
That sounds awesome. I don't know. I've had friends like through the years, like younger, that lived in the projects here in LA. What are you saying? That people that live in the projects or are on public assistance are not supposed to have nice things, Chantal? It's like, what do you think? They're supposed to like live in a dump with roaches and, wear filthy clothes and all that sort of thing? I don't know why you're so shocked that this woman had a nice apartment and a bar in there. I guess according to Chantal, they're not supposed to have nice things.
Always in her robes. Anyway, when I look back on it, some bad things happened to me that night, actually.
You probably deserve them.
She basically handcuffed me to her.
What? What do you... He handcuffed me to her.
I was like, let's do shots, kind of thing.
What?
And she had her boyfriend over. I don't remember much about him except that he didn't have any legs.
So?
And I remember saying this in my other mukbang, but he just like, he would creep me out. Not because he didn't have any legs. I'm not making fun of that. It's the way he moved himself around the apartment, like when you're all hazy and like out of it. And I would just see him. He was like a seal. Like he would jump up on the couch beside us. Then he would slide down and like snake his way across the house.
You literally are a piece of shit. You just literally are. You are making fun of somebody with no legs, and you are creeped out by somebody with no legs. I don't know. When I see people like that, I don't have the same opinion at all. I see survivors. I see warriors. I see people being more productive than, most people in society with no legs, no arms, whatever the case might be. You're a piece of trash, Chantal. And I mean, you better knock on some wood because having no legs might be in your future. Diabetes.
And yeah, it creeped me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gross. Disgusting. And she wants to sit here because people comment on her weight and her obesity, which is self-inflicted, and say you're ableist, and yet she wants to sit here and talk trash about a man with no legs.
If you haven't tried
Sorry, my husband came in, said he's leaving, so the dogs are barking. My guard dogs. My lady. Hold on, the dogs are going to start barking again because he's going to start the truck. By the way, speaking of it, because we work, well, I don't work anymore. He does now. For the Port of Los Angeles. If I were you, I would go to the store and buy whatever things you need for your household, because it's going to get bad in a couple weeks. There are barely any ships coming in. There are ships coming in, but I think I don't think people realize how long it takes a ship to actually sail from China to the United States. And there are already signs of things running out in the stores. And I think it's going to get bad in a couple weeks. So this week, if you can, I would do some shopping. Back to you, Chantal. Piece of crap.
Pizza? Don't knock it till you try it, right?
No, I'm not. No. I'm not putting ketchup on a pizza. Or ranch. Gross.
That was creepy. Anyway.
You're gross, Chantal.
Some things happened, and not so good things.
And you know what? The way that she thinks like that, do you know how many good men there are probably out there that have been, injured in some sort of way, whether it be from, in the military or, some type of tragedy, car accident, whatever. Do you know how many good men there are out there that she's just shitting on, basically, and saying they creep her out? You're disgusting, Chantal. Oh my God. Lady. Sorry. Said the G word. Lady. No. Pretty girl. Hey, pretty girl. Pretty girl. Come here. It's okay. No. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry. I have to pause till she stops. Lady. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause it for a little bit. They're still kind of barking. They always do this, trying to get my husband's attention when he leaves right now. And now, what time is it? I think it's like 1. I probably will not see him again till probably 3, 4 a.m. Back to you, Chantal.
And, hi, baby. I did not want to ever go over there again.
Because you're a weirdo, that's why. I don't know, like, the neighborhood we live in now is like it's like a potpourri of things going on over here. I don't know. If you're not familiar with Los Angeles, it's like a neighborhood will literally have like normal houses, and then you'll have people that have purchased those houses, torn them down, and built like mini mansion type houses that literally take up the whole plot of land. And then you'll have like apartments mixed in there. You'll have duplexes mixed in there, like that sort of thing. So the neighborhood I live in now is like a mix like that, where we have some streets over here that have apartments. Like the house that we have has been the original house probably was built like in 1920, something like that. And then over the period of time, people have purchased it and built on it and all that kind of stuff like that. And yeah, we have our neighborhood, like, person that drinks a lot around the corner. They typically have parties every weekend. We have the neighbors, next door to us. We share food. We swap things like that. So normal neighborhood. I don't know. Chantal just rubs me as that type that does not get along with her neighbors. Like, she would be the troublemaker in the neighborhood. She would be the one that caused problems. She would be the noisy neighbor. She would be the one to be like, get off of my lawn type of thing.
I tried to avoid her, but like, sometimes I would just see her on the porch. She was always on the porch in her gown, holding onto her balcony, looking for new victims. Or hanging around the railing, like.
She was looking for friends. You're mean, Chantal.
On the first of the month, everyone, a lot of people
she doesn't know what it's like to have a neighbor from hell. The last house, what was it? I think it was the first house that we purchased years ago. I actually had to get a restraining order on this idiot that lived like a house over. He lived like in a duplex, this scumbag piece of crap, because he would harass my children. He would harass me. He would harass us through the windows at nighttime. This whole thing. Called the police so many times, all of this kind of thing. And then like eventually we ended up moving. It could get that bad where you have to get restraining orders. I don't think Chantal knows anything about that life. So having a neighbor hanging out on her balcony, big whoop.
Would be waiting in the stairway near the mailbox for their checks, their welfare checks.
Like you were in there. Man, what a joke she is.
And of course she would be loud and like, where's the mail?
And of course you were in the line. You were on the welfare too. Chantal, why are you so ashamed? My mom was on welfare when I was young. There's no shame in it. And then she used that as a ramp to get a better job. And that's what happened. Obviously you didn't do that. You're still a scumbag. Using the system.
Even the mailman, when he would come in, he would look like, oh no, not her, because she would always give him shit too, like, why were you late? It's almost 1 o'clock. You're like a couple hours late. I have appointments. I gotta go to No Frills. I gotta get my groceries.
That's true, though. You know, I will agree with her on that. When I had I have an uncle was a mailman for years, and he used to talk about that. Like on the first of the month, certain people on the mail route would be like that, you know, wanting their check, or they would chase him down wanting the check, or they would chase him down wanting him to take like a package or mail or some crap like that. But the one thing I do miss is the cookies. During Christmas time, he would get so many good fresh Italian cookies that people would bake. Miss those times.
Kind of thing. Ooh, I'm full. The stuffed crust is so much more filling.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I don't like it. I like thin crust, but this one's pretty good. The Super Supreme is really good. I'm gonna just save this for my husband. If he gets hungry later, then I don't have to cook. I'm just joking.
Lazy.
What do you think you're doing? It's not 2:30. She likes my
She's a horrible wife. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this as your wife? Just lazy, so she doesn't have to cook. So she's gonna. Do you think she's really gonna save him half that pizza? I don't think so. She's gonna make him eat the chicken nuggets if there's any left.
What do you do with your bum in the ear? She's hyper. You always have the zooms.
Watch out for those
What
anal
did you
glands.
do? Ow, you bite my...
Those anal glands might squirt you in the face, Chantal. Let's hope it happens.
She bit mom.
Good.
Anyways, guys, I don't miss those neighbors, man. We don't have neighbors like that here ever. There's just no people here like that I've ever encountered because
they're
they
afraid.
would be arrested pronto.
Exactly.
And, especially for being intoxicated. And honestly, I don't miss those kind of drunk people. There's obviously going to be a lot of things I miss about being in Canada.
So I guess this is the portion of the video where she's going to talk trash about Canada. You're disgusting. You are... I'm biting my tongue.
Particularly my family, friends, Autumn.
Friends?
Yes, I have friends.
No, you don't. Come
Not
on.
many, but when it comes to friends, quality over quantity.
You have no... I agree with that statement, but you don't have any friends because any friend that you've ever had, you've like thrown under the bus. So you don't have any friends. I don't even like Salah's not even your friend. He's just using you and then he's going to ghost you eventually. You have absolutely zero friends. It's sad. Oh, well, no, I take that back. She has that fly. That's her friend.
Autumn, Halloween, stuff like that, you know? And yes, I'll say it again one last time. I can celebrate Halloween as long as I don't worship Satan as a Muslim, okay?
Get out of here.
And I
Excuse
don't
me.
want
Halloween is not about Satan. Get out of here. You're already a succubus, so I mean, I think that takes care of it for itself. Come on.
Halloween, I worship chocolate bars, not Satan.
Wow, that's nice.
You know?
She worships chocolate bars, not Satan. If anything, I thought she would have had this cosplay down and said that she worshipped Allah. Guess not. She worships... I can't speak. She worships chocolate and not Satan.
When I worship Allah. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, here we go.
All
With
right,
the religious.
guys. And yes, alhamdulillah, I'm finished eating this wonderful meal that I'm blessed to have.
You worship Allah, right? But yet you're breaking one of the rules as far as gluttony. So well done, Chantal. Well done.
Talk to you wonderful people. I'm in a really good mood today. And
Why? Because you just fed?
I just thought that I would tell you that story because there's some things I miss about Canada, that's what I was saying, and there's some things I don't. And one of them is like really boisterous, annoying drunk people in the streets or in general.
What are you talking about? Why are you painting Canada like that? Like it's just this horrible place where there's just drunk people in robes just all over the place. Like it's just so trashy. You are disgusting. You are a traitor to your own country. Canada is a beautiful country. Canada has beautiful people, and they're not all disgusting and weird like you, Chantal. You're just jealous because you could never be a normal person in Canada. That's why you had to flee to Kuwait.
Just that whatsoever. And I mean, I was once one of those people, actually. So not
You
in
still
public,
are.
really, but
Literally, yeah, in public. And I mean, actually, I would rather be a drunk person on the street where nobody knows me and then I just be drunk on the street rather than be on YouTube and be drunk and wasted in front of hundreds or thousands of people at a time. So, yeah, I'd rather be the one in the street.
sometimes. Anyways, I don't miss that lady. I don't know what she's up to. I hope she got her life together. Wishing her all the best. Okay, I feel like I have to say that because I really don't care what happens to her because
What a jerk, man.
she was just kind of an awful person, and
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you don't like somebody, there's no reason to say something like that. That just shows me how black your soul truly is. Because even though I don't like you, Chantal, I wouldn't say that about you. Like, I wouldn't be like, I don't care what happens here. I don't like her anyway. I would never do that. Because that's truly not the way I feel. I don't feel that way about anybody. But you're just gross. You're just disgusting. Evil succubus. You are.
I just don't care. I can't force it.
Wow.
But I don't wish ill on anyone. I don't wish ill on
You
her.
just
but still,
did,
you know.
really.
She was something else. My other story time was more detailed, of course, but there's some things I can't really talk about now. Keeping it PG, kind of, you know. So, but yeah.
And then that's another. Isn't that literally another rule of Islam or tenet? I don't know how you would say it. To kind of care about your fellow man. Like, wow. Way to show yourself, Chantal.
I don't know if you guys have probably all had a neighbor or two like that in your life. I've had some interesting neighbors, and I did a couple story times about them. I've had some good. I had, particularly when I was growing up.
I have a story. Now it just came to my head. When I was a kid, probably how old was I? I would stay a lot of time at my grandmother's house because, like I said, my mother drinking and my stepfather heroin addict, all that kind of thing going on. So I would spend a lot of time at my grandmother's house, and she lived down in not the so good part of town. And I remember she lived in this apartment. It was upstairs, and across the street there was a theater that happened to be there, like a movie theater, and they had like apartments upstairs. And I don't know who owned this apartment building, but they would like over rent the units. So there was just crammed with people in there, and the people would overflow into the adjacent parking lot, and then they would be like in the parking lot at nighttime making noise like all through the night. And I remember my grandma went out there one time with this gun. It wasn't even a working gun, and she was like telling them to shut the hell up or I'm gonna take care of it myself, and like had the gun and then went back in the house. My grandma was crazy sometimes like that. But yeah, I mean, crazy times back then when I was young.
Who was like Ned Flanders, and he looked exactly like Ned Flanders and would say things like hello, how do you do, like, you know, like kind of Flanders like. But he ended up passing away in his home, and he wasn't found for quite a while. And actually, they discovered his body when we were having a family barbecue, and the cops came up and were like, "Have you seen your neighbor?" And then no, we all saw, you know, the body be carried out. It was quite sad, but it was, you know, anyway, it was, yeah, he was a good guy, but he smoked like probably 2 packs a day or more. And
Excuse me. That sounds like you with a shisha. How many packs of cigarettes do you think that is? Is that going to be your future as well? So not only having no legs, but possibly a heart attack in your sleep due to the shisha? I don't know. You're like putting this stuff out in the ether. It's kind of not good, Chantal. Shouldn't be doing this. Oh, and by the way, the gun that my grandma swung around, the gun didn't work. It was like a rusted old gun that she just kept. I don't even know where she got the thing from. It was like, what kind of gun was it? Was it like a 45 or something like that? Yeah. Funny.
Stressful job, and he was lonely. So he ended up passing away of a heart attack in his sleep. So, yeah. Anyway.
That's weird.
Those are a couple of my neighbor stories for you, I guess. There's some new people.
I mean, that would be the best way to like go out, honestly. But then again, it's like you wouldn't even know that you have passed away. I don't know. It can be good or bad both ways, I guess.
Found that story interesting. But yeah, I think her name was Karen. I think her name was actually Karen.
It probably wasn't.
I'm pretty sure. I think so. She did some other really gross things, but I won't talk about them. But yeah, she, like, her apartment, even though she was on assistance, was just like full bar service.
So what?
She decorated her house really nice. Like, it was hard to believe.
What does she mean? Like, I don't understand that. Does she think that, like, people on public assistance are just supposed to live, like, horribly, just filthy, with nothing in their apartments? It blows my mind how out of touch she is with people. And just how she stereotypes specific groups of people. And she thinks she's way above that. Chantal, you're not way above that. In fact, I would say you're probably below that, just like somebody off the 405 freeway here in LA with a sign. But then again, I would say that they're still above you because at least they're working for whatever money they're getting. You do nothing.
You know, like,
you're lower than that.
We worked full-time jobs.
Lies.
And we're making decent income at the time, and we still had, like, hand-me-down furniture. You know, like, I don't know, man. Anyway. So, yeah. The stories, eh? Down
She's such a liar.
Anyways.
Well, I don't understand why she can't admit that she was on public assistance. Like I said, my mom was on welfare when I was young. She wasn't on it that long, and then there was a period of time. Was it when I had my first child? Yeah, because my husband's job at that time didn't provide insurance, so I had to be on Medi-Cal. And by the way, when I had my son, we had to pay a portion of the money back because he was born with congenital heart disease. So sometimes you have to pay the money back. Like if you're on public assistance, it's not a free ride all the time. Like Chantal, I don't know if she thinks it is.
Watching this with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay, so that's it. Apparently she has been on live. I'm gonna go check that out, and I don't know what nonsense she's been in that one. But yeah, I don't know what this was. I guess she thinks that the only thing I got out of this is she thinks that people on public assistance are supposed to live like filthy animals, I guess. They're not supposed to have nice things. And she doesn't like men with no legs. They creep her out. So, way to go, Chantal, at proving yourself to be an asshole yet again. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.